Welcome to the Eden Podcast. I'm your host, Bruce C.E. Fleming. Our website is true316.com. That's TRU316.com. And on this episode, we're going to talk about two special blog articles we've written on our true316.com/blog section of the website. To sum them up in 2 words each, I could call them good news and gone askew. At True316, how do we handle special requests and special insights? We write them up as blog articles on true316.com/blog, and I want to introduce you to these two most recent blog posts. They cover 1, the gospel in the garden, and 2, why has so much New Testament theology gone askew? Blog post number 1. Have you ever wondered what if someone started studying Genesis 2 to 3 with us here at True316? Would they come to a clear understanding of the good news? Could they come to a realization of their need for salvation that comes through giving their heart to Christ? I think they could. Here's our most recent blog post on that. It's titled, "Is the Good News Presented in the Garden of Eden?" Oh, yes. Genesis 2 to 3 tells us why we need the good news and makes this news practical. In these 2 chapters on the Garden of Eden, we learn that 1, the Creator God walked with the man and woman in Eden. All was very good. 2, the couple was attacked by the serpent tempter. Both ate and earned death. 3, the man ate, knowing he was rebelling against God. He then hid, blamed God and the woman, and did not reveal the part played by the serpent tempter whose words he was following. 4, the woman ate, thinking it was good to do so in 3 ways, and not willfully rebelling against God, for she'd been deceived by the one Jesus later called the father of lies. 5, the woman realized she had been deceived, rejected her tempter's words, pointed out her attacker, and confessed her sin to God. 6, God accepted her testimony and her confession and used her words as the basis for dealing with the devil. 7, God judged the serpent tempter and promised one who would crush his head. We know the name of that one. It is Jesus, the Son of Mary, the offspring of Eve. We too can confess our sin to God and put our trust in the promised one, Jesus the Savior. Go deeper. We find the God Tools app can be especially helpful. It's available in more than 100 languages. Simply go to godtoolsapp.com. For more insights into what happened in Eden, we've produced for you the Eden Podcast and the 4 volumes in the Eden book series, starting with the Book of Eden on Genesis 2 to 3. Blog post 2. At True316, we've been asked, is it possible to quickly sum up the damage that's being done because of the mistranslation and misinterpretation of the verses on the Garden of Eden, and especially the skewed views on God's words to the woman in Genesis 3:16? Where do New Testament theologians go wrong? And what does it matter in real life? And can we sum all this up in a few paragraphs? Wow. Okay. That was the challenge. This very important blog post and the previous one are available at true316.com/blog. That's blog. And there are other special ones there as well, just for you. Here's the blog post we wrote on where teachers of New Testament theology have gone askew. Title: How the Mistranslation of Genesis 3:16 Affects the Understanding of those New Testament passages. The True316 insights into God's words to the woman in Genesis 3:16 demonstrate that God didn't curse Eve or Adam or limit woman in any way. Namely, that 1, God took action in 2 ways in line 1 of Genesis 3:16. That one of God's 2 actions involved sorrowful toil. The Hebrew word for that is itzabon, for the woman in field work, as also for the man, because of the curse on the ground, because of the man, and for all others after them. And that the other of God's two actions involved assuring her that the seed of conception, the Hebrew word is heron, indeed would crush the serpent tempter's head. 2. The three remaining lines in Genesis 3:16 contained no further actions, but instructed her as to line 2, grief, the Hebrew word is etzev, in parenting her many children. Line 3, observation that her affection, desire for her husband was there, still there. And line 4, warning that his desire had changed with his rebellion against God. The impact on related New Testament passages includes the following. 1. Those who mistranslate and misinterpret Genesis 3:16 wrongly make it look like the woman was singled out for special punishment and that this punishment was deserved for actions on her part. When New Testament passages related to Genesis 3 are analyzed through these warped optics, they negatively skew any analysis. 2. Those with incorrect views on Eve assume woman was subordinated by God in Eden, and all women are subordinated in the family and the church as well. 3. They attribute flawed moral fiber to Eve and all her daughters, and class her in a category with the serpent tempter who must be restricted and restrained from doing additional evil. 4. They presume to see a quote-unquote order in creation, a quote creation order, that relegates women to a second level of ministry and authority. There is no such quote-unquote order in the chapters of Genesis 1 through 3. Instead, there is the distinction drawn between how the man and the woman partook of the forbidden fruit. The man did so on purpose. The woman did not. The man received a curse for his rebellious first-degree eating. He was also addressed in a way parallel to the serpent tempter. The woman was treated in a distinctively different way. She received a promise and a confirmation for her alignment against the tempter. Pagan ancient philosophers preach starkly negative views on women. Echoes of these pagan views haunt the statements of those who attribute something like a curse on Eve when they mistranslate Genesis 3:16 and speak of God imposing multiplied pain in childbirth and subjugation to her husband. The True 3:16 analysis of the Hebrew and Greek texts reveal positive and empowering statements on women and men together with God. The differences between the two views are stark, and so is their fruit. We plead for a more serious adoption of the True 3:16 insights into the key passages on women and men, and a commitment to their wider adoption and spread. We invite you to study these blog posts and more at true316.com/blog.